Good afternoon. So the Trump's tariffs were considered illegal by the United States court and the market reacted actually pretty good. So here we go. Let's start with the SPX, the stock market, American stock market. So let me just clear the the average, and now let's analyze the charts. So many people saying that the stock market would crash. I'm not expecting a big upside from here because indeed the structure is not that great. This past week markets reacted with stress again. Nothing new on the market structures. See if USA attacks Iran. Iran. Irão in Portuguese, I don't know, but I think it's Iran in English. So we don't know if they will attack it, but pretty sure that the possibilities are great for that. Polymarket says that Clarity Act has 83% chance that will pass this year. I think it will, and I think they are trying to convince the banks to rule 2% interest on stablecoins. I think that's fair because if not, banks would face stress, and that's now how the system really works. So indeed I am expecting at some point a big correction on the stock market because, as we know, the American economy, it's not that great. Besides the numbers saying otherwise, we know it isn't. Going to the gold chart. So I said many times that I was expecting strong reactions around 4181, and that happened. So now gold is going higher. I think it will go a lot higher from here, but at this moment, perhaps if you are trading gold and risk assets should follow gold, Bitcoin didn't do that because it corrected very fast, and I will show you something here very important for you. So I'm expecting perhaps a rejection around 5108 or 5323. Now I will show you something very interesting. This USDT chart keeps going higher, and this 8% dominance is indeed the magic level. So we have bearish structure again. We lost several trend lines from the last time I updated for you here on the Substack and YouTube. Today we have and we had this structure, and usually it goes and tries to get on the upside and tries to make it higher, but as we know, when it loses the trend lines, we can expect some relief to the crypto sector. Many people saying that crypto is doomed, it's worth anything. Many people already gave up on their altcoin bags. That's sentiment. Usually we should trade against it and not consider it, because when we invest money, we should do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. I know the risk is greater because this cycle was indeed very bad for many altcoins, but as I told you, I am expecting at some point that Tether comes down. On one 4-hour chart, we see the OBV is going lower, and many times it usually pumps when it gets to these levels right here. So I'm not saying that it will break now. I'm saying that there's a possibility for a stronger rally if they don't manipulate the market once again. Very important, this chart right here. This is very important for all the crypto assets, and let me show you something that I found out to be very interesting. So my opinion, and I call it on X, that BTC had the top against gold, the cycle top right there, but it peaked on January. So Last time, in last bull market, BTC peaked and made a double top, and it couldn't close above the top or make a stronger high. So it made 5 waves to the upside. And now what I'm saying is that if you just consider the top of the bull market right here against gold, you see that BTC just went to make 189 days of downside. And what's interesting is that BTC should be measured against gold and not against the dollar. And why? Because all the tops and bottoms are signaled by the BTC chart against gold. Now watch this. The first bearish candle when the bearish cycle started gave us 395 days of downside. This is the first bear. Then we had again 365 days, a year. And then we have here the CV19 event, but nevertheless, if you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, being the third the most explosive one, because that was the time when USA was printing billions of dollars and stimulating the economy. So we had a very impulsive third wave. But as you saw, 365 days. Now let's measure again the other cycle. This one we had 395 days, just like this one. And now we are from this candle 427 days. But if we measure the top against the dollar, which it was here on this candle, we have 185 days, which means BTC accelerated towards the downside, decoupling from the stock market and from other precious metals. And that means that my concerns on BTC are reflected on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. That's why I call the bear right here. Now I am expecting some kind of reaction, and I mean we can do something like what I will show you now. So if we do the same for the waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we have the same setup right here. 1, 2, 3. I'm expecting the fourth and the 5 right there. 0.1 ounce per BTC. So this is very important to understand, because this trend line just marked a big shift on the ratio between gold and BTC. And that's why I'm telling you that I believe that when BTC loses the dominance and goes to 30%, it will never recover from that dominance, because watch this. You cannot ask more from an asset that goes from 0 to 0.02 ounce per BTC. That's indeed a great expansion. And as you can see, if we are to be totally honest, let's just draw some logarithmic stuff right here. As you can see, the log shows that this expansion was nearing its end. I'm not saying BTC will die, nothing like that. I'm just saying the ratio between BTC and gold has to be revalued again. That's why I believe gold will go up to make all-time highs until it reaches its target, which I think it's close to 10 or 20k, but that may change along the lines. So the news we got for the dollar, which lost this trend line, but now it's trying to recover it, and the news made the dollar gain some strength. So indeed it's kind of strange, because crypto should go down when DXY goes up, but we had many months going down with the dollar, and that's the part that I was trying to make sense of, because there's a correlation between the DXY and crypto assets. We should see, anytime this chart goes down, we should see crypto assets rising. And what happened was that the stock market went higher, everyone went to make all-time highs, including silver and gold, but BTC just decided to go down. Now let's analyze the current structure. So BTC is retesting this zone, the all-time highs, but it has a strong cluster right there. So if we go to the weekly, I am expecting BTC to not lose this zone, because this zone had many trading days, around 200 and something. Let's just see how many days it was. So around 217 days, and the structure was bullish. So we had so many trading days, so many levels taken out, that this is the zone where BTC has to confirm as its support level. I know that that doesn't exist. Nevertheless, it's a strong area where BTC should give us a little relief. And going to the daily ranges, well, right there, typically I'll show you something on each chart that's a lot like this one. So we have OBV going up, showing some strength right here, and usually crypto has a big problem. When crypto dumps, and we got this candle right here that took more than 50% of the body of the last candle, of the bearish one, then the reaction was very strong, and the days that followed that reaction gave us a range, a working range. So I am expecting BTC to just consolidate around here, because it cannot lose the 65,000. If BTC can go and take 71,000, which I think is probable, then we can reassess the structure. But for now, it is very important to hold 65,000, or BTC goes to make a new low and perhaps take the 60,000 again. So that's really important that this range can be maintained. So here you have some channel. As you can see, there's a channel right here, and it broke out of that channel. So the possibilities to keep making higher prices remain open, and we are entering the weekend. I'm sorry, we are going into the weekend. So one more reason why markets usually are softer in weekends, and near Sunday closes they are more aggressive. Keeping the same narrative on each chart, I will show you this one, because this is important too. When we were right here, we had a massive drop, and what happened here? Just the same I was saying to you. Just let me put it on the daily. So you had a candle that took the capitulation candles, and then we saw weakness and loss of volatility right here. The range was set between 1687 and 1541, and let's get inside that cluster. What can we see here? Almost exactly the same pattern and the same behavior, weakness, and I just ask you, if would you buy here this one? Probably you would short this one. So let's see what's happening today, because remember that it could bounce from here, since it's getting very close to the cluster, and when it touched right here on 1413, the reaction gave us a visit to all-time high around five, $5,000. Today we are making the same kind of structure that implies weakness, and as we can see, it's really weak. So crypto has this problem. It seems it's weak, and usually it goes up from where it's weak, because it's like manipulation to make people do bad choices, and especially those who trade on sentiment, because if we are affected by sentiment, then we will always make errors, and that will cost a lot of money to make such errors. Usually everyone likes to buy green candles and not when the market is giving you opportunity to enter, because it's almost impossible to catch bottoms, almost impossible. So let's come on the BTC-D, and I will just turn on the average. What we have here, it's BTC on the same levels we saw when the dominance collapsed and came down to the 40%. Now we are at the same levels, and BTC-D is showing weakness and loss of trend. But as you know, this stuff usually takes time, and we cannot pinpoint exactly how much time will it take to lose the dominance. So the OBV gave us a signal, and right now the price is trying to hold 58%. We can see that the moving averages are signaling that the chart will come down and touch those levels. And what I said in the beginning, that BTC would never recover from the fall, because as you all know, lost some narratives, like the digital gold narrative, the store of value narrative, it lost. And in fact, when regulations come, I believe that they will just say they will classify all the coins, and the coins will have their own categories. That's what I think, because we cannot have a market where BTC falls and everyone falls with BTC, because that's not how it works. If you look at other markets, there's a small correlation, there's some level of correlation of following, but not like crypto, where they can turn on the bots and everyone goes down no matter what, even if the coin is taken, or if the coin is held by many people, or something else that affects supply and demand. In this case, I think Binance and Wintermute and Coinbase and other exchanges manipulate the price so they can get in lower, and it's much easier to make the price fall than to make the price go up, and that's why you see all these shenanigans in the crypto market. So going on, I already said that ETH has a chance to make a bottom, and honestly I am expecting continuation from this pattern that took around 7 years to make. So if we have an upside trend and consolidation, we have more probabilities that next time it goes up, it can take all-time highs and make 5 waves up like this one, but not the same gains, because indeed you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this third wave was gigantic because all the printing. If we do the same exercise and we say that this 1, 2, 3, we could have something really stupendous, but I don't think this will happen. I'm more inclined to say that if ETH can protect this pivot, we already have the structure almost done. So we have 33% of the structure done, then another 33% of the structure done, then the last 33%. And what I'm saying is soon you will see it will choose and pick a side, and the side will take it from the basing of this triangle, considering it will break out from there. For example, you could go to $28,657,000, or you can come down around 377. So that's your choice. You have to decide for yourself. I will pick the upside because anytime we are oversold or we had many days of selling and capitulation, we touch those levels right here, and when that happens, usually the market rallies. So in this case, it rallied and stopped at 4181. So remember this. I will show you something right here that I think you should know for your life. It's like a tool. Remember to always compare assets between them, because that's very important to understand and to and to think for yourself and not take advice from Twitter, because people don't know many stuff and then they start to say things that are not reality. So look here, Solana. Yes, when it went for a correction, it stopped right there. Where? At the all-time high, the latest all-time high. When Solana went to correct, it stopped around the body of the third wave. So if you do this exercise, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right where it should be, between 4, the bottom of the fourth wave, and the top of the wave 1. So then Solana went to make and the same that it did. So picture this, Solana had to fall all this way down and take this zone so it could recover. It just kept going up from there. Exactly this point where Solana came down, it went to make a new all-time high. If you were to draw this right here, you should draw this like so. Exactly. So as you can see, it performed way better from this point on, but didn't perform that well right here and right there. So the exact spot the price is today, considering the ratio between ETH and Sol, which is stronger? Which one is stronger? I think it is stronger right now, considering you have all this divergence. It's a bearish one. So as you can see, the price just kept going up, but people that buy Solana just halted the purchase. So the demand versus the offer, the supply is more on the supply side. So then you touched these levels, you touch 0.08, and now you're correcting until I think you come down here. So next months and perhaps next year, ETH should outperform Solana. So that doesn't matter the narrative. What matters is the price. The price is king, and that's just how it is. The price is king. When we go to ETH BTC ratio, I was telling that it should bottom around 0.03 and consolidate over here. It came down further to this zone, but then we have an impulse. impulsive structure. So my take on this, perhaps, I don't know if this is correct or not, because I don't have all the waves, but we could have something like this, or we could have something like this: 1 2 3 4 5 ABC. Let's see what plays out, but for now I would just print a trend line right here, and I'm expecting this to be touched very, very soon, if it can stay around 0.03, which is a great trade, because when you have impulses, then you can wait for the reversal and the correction. Perhaps you go to 50% or something, or 61.8. As you can see on this level, you had lack of volatility and a fake out and price pump. Now I'm watching for entries around this zone, 0.024, and I will trade some of my BTC to ETH. But it's not all, because when market goes down or when market goes up, you always have opportunities, and here what I did was selling this structure that I will show you, because I am a very long time, I am in the market for 10 years, and I know that the level for BTC against XRP is around 2000 sats. So anytime the price gets above 2000 sats, I'll sell some XRP to BTC, and I'll wait for the price to come down, just like I did right here at 2180. Then some part of that trade I already made right at, perhaps here, I don't remember exactly where it was, and I sold again, because I am expecting this 1 2 3 to play out like this. Remember, if you want to do crypto trading between pairs, always watch the levels you go in and you go out, and remember to take it partially. I mean, don't do it with all your XRP. If you have 1000, you can do it with 200 or 300, and you can take a bet, so you never lose assets. On the contrary, when you are leveraging, you can lose everything. So if you do between pairs, you don't ever lose assets. If you believe in this space, that's what you should do, and not selling assets when you are at the lows. So let's go. I was telling you that I am expecting this level to be touched again, because it makes sense that this move will take XRP right there, considering this zone. If you had 1 2 3, perhaps 4 and a fifth wave, and take out these lows. And from my experience, I usually start accumulating XRP around 1000 sats, just like I did on the past. So 1000 sats, I know it takes a long time sometimes to get those trades, but whenever it touches 1000 sats, it's a buy zone for me. So even if you go lower, as you did, to 720, but then right now, when everything is losing value, you could make good trades. I sold XRP at $3.30, and I sold again against BTC at 2180. I should have sell it right there, but I didn't want to go to BTC, because I thought that BTC was losing dominance a lot sooner. But as expected, we had trouble, many weeks of trouble with this chart that is renouncing to do what it has to do. So this is rampant. This is, rampant, and it shows a lot of acceleration. So when I look at this chart without any trend lines, this structure is like this one over here. But nevertheless, when you have trend lines, you can make some trend lines. And what does it mean? It means that if you long crypto right here, I mean good assets, liquid ones, you get some correction and crypto goes up. whenever this chart is trying to make bullish structures, if you perhaps see this and this touch is there, then you can expect some kind of upside from USDT again. Remember, this coin, this dollar, is manipulated by the Tether cartel, so take care using this chart, because the chart just does what it wants. And I mean, it does what it wants. There's no law, there's no regulation that can stop the chart from doing what it wants, because look at this. I'm trying to, if I had to say, I remember some altcoin doing shit like this. No, I don't, because this is ludicrous. Sorry, ludicrous. Ludicrous. I don't know. I don't even remember how to say the word. But okay, this is strange. But as you can see, the trend line on the OBV, it's already losing the strength. But as you can see, the chart keeps there because people are afraid of the war between USA and Iran, and they just run to the stable, run to, I'm always forgetting the words I want to say, but they protect capital using dollars. So safe havens. That's what I wanted to say. It's like a safe haven. So let's go. So Chainlink, I think the market has a real possibility of getting some kind of relief, because as you can see, all the coins are tremendously oversold. So they are at levels not seen from 2022. So that's the truth. This case it's a really strange one, because we had this upside and it was really a big run, 5-wave run, and we consolidated here for 2 years. And now what we did was a flat structure, and there's the real risk of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So take care with this one. Have a stop loss on your spot bags, because if it loses this zone, it will get ugly. But nevertheless, I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting something like a consolidation structure. So I'm expecting upside from here, not to take those levels. But it is possible. As you saw on 10 of October, everything is possible when regulations aren't in, because this is the Wild West, and we know there are 5 or 6 institutions that can just manipulate prices and bring prices where they want to accumulate. So take care about that note. It's a little note. The chart is not looking that great, but nevertheless, I have link on my portfolio. I will maintain link, because the worst choice I made was right here. You can see that APT just went to take the lows. Right now you don't have any setup right here. So I'm always saying that you should always consider coins that are uptrending against ETH or BTC. That's why I like XRP, XLM, SUI, Injective, and so on. That's the reason why my portfolio has small positions in these very risky coins, because sometimes you, even when you don't expect anything like this, you get something that you never saw in your life. So I never thought that I would see say coming at 0.7, and that's a lesson for later. Nevertheless, there are very good positions that I hold. I'm expecting this chart, and I saw many guys posting TA on X about this one. I think this resembles the Wyckoff structure. I will show you something very interesting indeed. I don't I'm not saying for you to go and buy this coin, but I will show you what I mean. So I have this coin on my portfolio as a protocol because the metrics are great, but it's risky considering that protocols get hacked and usually founders dump the tokens, and CRV is just reward token. So nevertheless, when you look at Zcash, I call the top on X here. You can go watch it for yourself. I call it. It's what it wasn't 233. It was $700. I called the top right there, and I was expecting CRV to make the same movement. But I remember that before Epstein files came to the public, before the government released the Epstein files, there were many whales selling BTC and going into Zcash because it's private. As you know, you can make private or public transactions on this network. So I think it was like a play from them, since we have the same chart, the same pattern. But in this case, let me explain what I saw here and what's the reason I am holding this token. You have a rounded bottom right there, same. Then you have this first move, and you come to make a new bottom that's higher than this bottom right there. So you make the same here, and you have this move to create a pivot that is up, that is higher than this one. So you have to expect a change in the trend. That's what I was expecting. So a change in the trend, then you made this small move in 3, and I sold some right here and bought again at 0.65 or something dollar. But the chart just decided to collapse on the event that I told you, 10 of October. So as you can see, patterns aren't a certainty. So you can never judge a pattern and say the chart is doing this or that, because everything comes into consideration. If the macro is good, and if Trump, for example, shuts his mouth, then perhaps you could have made the move. But as we know, we had this event, so that didn't affect Zcash as so much as it affected CRV and other coins, because it was already going up. So as you can see, the market is very manipulated, and you cannot trust even longer structures. Right now, what I am expecting is that at some point, because 1 2 3 4 5, and it didn't come to fulfill the week, but it's near the lows, and it's a Wyckoff structure, just like you see everywhere else. Or you can have a spring right here, but the trend indeed should have changed. And here is the setup. You come here and you make these waves, and then you make a triangle and compress and lose volatility to just go ballistic. This would give CRV $8 or something like that. So usually the target for this all of this structure is like so. You can plot the date and price range, and you can expect some symmetry, but remember that price shouldn't take this low. If it does and it's temporary, then it's another thing. But if it closes there and it keeps closing without coming and take this level, then the risk is very real, because as you know, the curve founders hold a lot of curves. So that's the risk you are taking to try to catch a move like this. It's more than 10 times. So 0.247 cents for $8-10 of upside. So it's a great risk to reward bet. But remember what I told you, if price keeps losing its strength, it just can continuing to go down, and that's the risk. That's why these positions shouldn't be more than 1 or 2% of your entire portfolio, but that is for you to manage. So right now it should be a great exercise to wait for this chart to give us some clues of what it wants to do. But nevertheless, it's very common to take these lows like a bear trap or something and then come up. But on the other hand, it's being more and more common to just keep going down, because that's what market is doing all the time. So going to another asset, XLM, XLM, XLM didn't push, didn't break from the triangle. The apex of the triangle, it's right here at year 2032. I wish we can see it go up sooner, because we have the structure almost done. So imagine that you are touching these levels right here, but nevertheless you can spend many years right there. So on the other hand, you can, if the market gains some strength, you could see a breakout from here and it starts building up. So it's a great risk to reward too, and it keeps the value better than the majority of the other coins. Watching SUI, I said many months ago that SUI would be if SUI came to $1, I would start accumulating again, because what I do is I buy here, sell there around 5, and then I start to scale in again when I think the correction is almost over, because one scenario is 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, this is one scenario. But if we see price going there, we can make a trend line right there. You just put it like so, like I did here, and you get out if price comes or breaks the trend line. So you can do the same exercise. If price starts to going up, then you just plot a trend line and you just frame the price in, and remember to always take profit, because you never know if you will have something like what I'm drawing to you. Imagine that you can make some kind of reaction like an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, just to go to $2.50, and then you just keep going down or something like that. You must open your eyes and never let it slide between your fingers. So this is advice for you, everyone that is watching me. This is advice for you, because the same way you can perhaps make an ABC and you go to $50, $15, the same way you can just stop right there and you are rejected and you come down. So that's why people use Fibonacci, because they can, if this is the low, if this is the pivot, I don't know if it is or not, but if it is and it holds here, then you should expect a visit around these levels, and then you have to make your decisions. You have to take your decisions. So that's all I have for today. I hope I can help you with some information. This is what was just a small update on the market. I showed you BTC against XRP. There's more to do on this market than just buy coins and hold them, and that's the route, that's the path I am choosing, that's the strategy I'm making to navigate a forced bear market, because this could not be a bear market, but it smells like one when you have movements like this. So this just brought every altcoin down. along with the event that liquidated on 10 of 10. So one more thing before I go, it's remember what I told you about gold. The top was here on the first cycle. BTC could make a great reaction right here at this level. Let's just measure the entire move. I think it was around 38.2 fib or something. No, 50%. Now today, if we should expect 50% from a channel, we have more road to go. So I'm not expecting this, because when this correction was made, you were correcting this entire move from here to there. And this year, or 2023 until 2026, the price behaved like a channel, and channels are not bullish, not impulsive. So if the channels are not impulsive structures, that's my reservation on BTC, and I think you will soon see what BTC will become. Because one thing that I'm thinking about, the what will happen to BTC, can the community take over BTC again? Perhaps, I don't know, but I would like to see it, and just improve it and make the block larger, because we know BTC was captured around the year 2015 when Gavin Andreessen proposed BIP 101, sorry, BIP 101. So when he proposed, that proposal was for Bitcoin XT to make the block larger, and Blockstream and Adam Beck didn't want it. They prefer layer 2, like the Lightning Network. And I think that was a great siphoning of the Bitcoin capabilities, and the fees that the network could generate if the block was larger and could accommodate more people like us, and we could use it. And that's not what we see today. Today we see a network with the mempool empty. We see biggest miners having more power, better energy contracts, better machines, and normal people, the average Joe, is just turning off the machines, even if the network can adjust the hash rate difficulty. And that's a lot to think about. So I don't know what will happen to Bitcoin or not. I don't have a clue, but it's not the same as it always was when you just go to this chart and you analyze the chart without bias. Just one more thing. Yes, I'm not calling for the end of BTC, but yes, you can have something like this, something like a flat structure, just like what we had in the past, but here it was a triangle. So here it was a consolidation structure that came and lost volatility before it just went ballistic. So are we having the same, and are we making a flat structure so BTC can consolidate there? Something changes, that perhaps it's digital gold again, and then we go up one more time or two. I don't know. That's why this space is so interesting, and that's why I am here every day. So take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching. Sorry my English. Be well. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.